Hello everybody and welcome back to another Marvel Crisis Protocol reveal breakdown, and today we are taking a look at the panel to play for Sunspot and Warlock, and really importantly they've also revealed a couple of tactics cards including the new Mutants Leadership. So really excited to dive into this. Now, a lot of this we've already seen. We've already seen the front stat card for both Sunspot and Warlock, but we'll go ahead and go over those again. So they spent a bunch of time talking about the abilities here, but we're just going to go ahead and read the card. So we have Sunspot, and I'm just going to quickly go over this for anyone who missed the mini extravaganza breakdowns that we did, or just the mini extravaganza streams, and doesn't want to watch the 45-minute video to get the details on these guys. So yeah, Sunspot's coming in as a 4 threat. He's going to be a 3/4/3 defensively. He's got 6 stamina, is a size 2, and a medium mover. He's going to be coming in with 2 attacks here. The first one is the UV Strike. This is going to be a range 2 5 dice energy attack. They were talking about during the mini extravaganza stream. They wanted him to kind of be an up close kind of melee focused energy attacker, not a super long range character, so that's cool. It's a standard builder, so he's going to gain power based on the damage that he deals, and then it has a wild hit heating up. After this attack is resolved, he's going to gain a flare token, and we'll see what those are all about down in his other abilities here. His other attack is Dark Solar Blast. This is a 3-cost spender. It's also going to be energy. It's going to be a range 3 7 dice attack. And it's going to have the wild hit thermokinetic concussion. So both wild hit triggers here, not the most consistent trigger in the world, but far from the least as well. And this one says, after the attack is resolved, other characters within range 2 of the target character suffer 1 damage. Characters dealt damage by this special rule do not gain power for this damage, and this character cannot deal or damage itself with this special rule, but do note you can damage your allies with this, so you're going to want to be somewhat careful with who you're hitting with this. Still, that's a relatively low-cost, solid amount of dice spender. It's got some splash damage on a, not amazing, but not unreasonable trigger. So yeah, that's a reasonable spender right there. Next, he has a high energy conversion. This is going to be a 2-cost active superpower. It says choose an interactive terrain feature or enemy character within range 2 of size equal to or less than the number of flare tokens this character has, and throw it small. The super can be used only once per turn, so here we find the first usage of those flare tokens that you can generate using UV Strike here. So that's cool. You can throw characters size based on flare tokens. So yeah, that's interesting. Obviously, he does have a limit, so there's a limitation there. And spoiler alert, it is 3. So you can throw size 3s or characters or terrain. So yeah, that's quite solid for a 2-cost superpower. Next, he has the Sunburn superpower. This is a 2-cost as well. It says this character advances its speed if it has, it is an action. If it has 3 flare tokens, it instead advances long and gains the flight superpower during this advance. After advancing, it immediately makes an attack action. This super can be used only once per turn. So basically, it's a charge, but if you're at 3 flares, it's a charge that also makes you a long mover with flight. So yeah, that's really solid. I mean, it's the same cost as your standard charge, so having that little added upside there is always nice. Next, he has Thermokinesis. This is a 0-cost. Before rolling attack dice, you may use this superpower and spend 1 or more flare tokens. Add 1 die to the attack roll for each flare token spent. If at least 1 flare token was spent, after the attack is resolved, the target character gains the Incinerate special condition. So yeah, that's pretty solid. It doesn't look like there's any trigger or anything like that. You don't have to deal damage, so you can always just spend 1 flare to just auto hand out Incinerate. That's really good. Obviously, you can spend all your flares if you're trying to do a bunch of damage and things like that. So yeah, that's quite solid. And now we have flare states. So we're going to find out how he gets these flares. And it says after this character ends a movement, it gains 1 flare token. This character can have a maximum of 3 at any time. So this is really solid, really consistent. So obviously he has that way of gaining it on his attacks there, which will happen once in a while. But any sort of movement will allow you to gain flare as well. So that could just be a move action, that could be from your charge, that could be from being pushed or thrown. You could throw them in somewhere like Midnight Suns. You could use the bump in the night leadership to do that. Anyone else placing you on your team, if you have like a Sam or Angel, I think they revealed it's going to have like a airlift sort of superpower. Any of those types of effects will give Sunspot flares, so that's really cool. And we'll see in a minute that he does work really well with the leadership, which is something they hinted to. And then it also says additionally, when he would become dazed or KO'd, this character may choose to spend all of its flare tokens. If it does, this character deals 1 damage to all enemy characters within range X of it, where X is the number of flare tokens spent. Then this character is dazed or KO'd. So he can kind of go out with a bang here. Cool little deterrent to attacking him if your opponent has characters on low stamina nearby. If he's got, even just 2 flares, that's basically an area 2 dealing 1 damage to all enemy characters. And this one does specify enemies, so you're not going to hurt your allies with this one either. So yeah, that's a solid little extra thing there. Means if he's coming off the table, he might also be able to do something on his way out, so that's always nice to see. And yeah, I think this is a really, really solid kit. He's got some really cool abilities. And we have seen his flip side now, and unfortunately, nothing does change here. There's not really, at least as far as I can tell, there's no changes. I'll leave it on the screen for a second if you want to pause and verify that. But from my read over, doesn't look like anything is different. So that is what it is. But yeah, the front side of his card looked pretty good. So I mean, the back side of his card looks pretty good as well. But yeah, that is Sunspot, but we do have a few more things revealed here. The first one being Tomorrow's Soldiers. This is the first of the tactics cards they revealed here, and this one is a New Mutants tactics card. It is reactive, and it says when an allied New Mutants character is dazed or KO'd, another allied New Mutants character may play this card. All non-dazed allied New Mutants characters gain 2 power. So great way to just turn around and throw a bunch of power to your entire team when one of them gets dazed or KO'd. Really, really solid. Great little deterrent there if your opponent was worried about some of your other characters having really meaningful turns. They take out one, and now suddenly, oh well, the rest of your team gets to do things because they've all got power now. So yeah, really, really solid card there. Definitely liking that. And then next we do have Warlock here. So Warlock is, again, coming in the same on the flip side as what was revealed at Adepticon, or Adepticon Mini Stravaganza. But yeah, we'll go ahead and go over him for anyone who missed that. So he is coming in as a 3 threat. He's a 3/3/4 with 5 stamina. He's a size 3 and a medium mover. His basic builder here is a range 2 5 dice physical attack that's going to build in power based on the damage dealt, and it has a wild infection to give out the bleed and poison special conditions. He has another 0 cost though as well. He has the Buster Cannon. This is a range 4 5 dice energy attack. This one will only gain you 1 power regardless of damage dealt, and has a wild shock. I always love to see characters that have multiple options for power generation in terms of, I like the idea of the longer range gain 1 power abilities versus the shorter range power on damage. So always happy to see stuff like that, and those are some really solid conditions to be handing out as well. Next, he has his Spender, Self Must Protect Self Friend. This is a range 3 7 dice energy spender that's going to cost you 4 power. It says when creating the dice pool for this attack, this character may choose an interactive terrain feature of size 3 or less within range 3 and destroy it. If it does, it may reroll a number of its attack dice equal to the terrain feature's size. So yeah, that's a really, really solid ability there. You get to add up to a size 3, so up to 3 dice to this, making that a 10 dice spender coming from a 3 threat that can hit really, really hard. And it doesn't stop there. It does have a wild throw after this attack is resolved. If the target character is size 3 or less, he may throw it away small. So yeah, that's pretty good as well. Size 3, so it's not going to work on your Hulks or anything like that, but that is going to work on a large percentage of the game. So yeah, really, really solid spender here. Definitely a fan. Next, he has Techno-Organic Absorption. This is his first active superpower, and this is going to be a 2-cost superpower that says choose an interactive terrain feature within range 3 of size 3 or less, the same restrictions on your spender there, and destroy it. Then this character removes damage from itself up to the destroyed terrain feature's size. So he's got some healing there for up to 3 health for 2 power, so relatively good ratio there. And yeah, that's just really, really solid. Someone was talking about kind of using this guy and combining this with his spender to just be removing terrain from the board so your opponent can't throw it at you, especially if you're playing against something like a Magneto. That could be really relevant. Of course, keeping in mind that would be generating him power as well. Next, he has the Transmode Virus Infection. This is a 2-cost. This character and enemy characters within range 2 of this character with the Poison condition suffer 2 damage in the order of your choosing. So he's going to deal 2 to himself, but he's also going to deal a flat 2 damage to any characters within 2 of him that he has poisoned. And of course, he will be handing out that poison with his talons, but you know, it's a good idea maybe to bring some other characters who can help him with that as well. Great way to guarantee damage on some models. Fantastic way to finish off kills. Oh, you're alive on 2, well, you're poisoned, so I guess you're dead. Really, really good. It does hurt himself, so he's going to have to be careful of that. He's going to have to use the techno-organic absorption to kind of regain that health so he doesn't just die afterwards. But still a cool little bit of synergy in his own kit there. Is, you know, he's going to damage himself, but then he can just heal it away. He's fine. So really, really solid there. Next, he has Unstable Outline. This says when this character is defending against a physical or energy attack, if the attacking character is not within range 3 of this character may add 1 die to its defense roll. So not quite as good as Stealth, where they just can't hit you if they're outside of range 3, but he gets extra dice on physical or energy attacks outside of range 3, which is cool. We haven't really seen much of that. Most of the defensive tech that enhances your defensive abilities is based on closer range, not further range. So neat to see that. That's kind of not unused design space. They've definitely done stuff like that before, but something we don't see as often. And then we have his immunities. He's immune to bleed and poison. So yeah, that's solid things to be immune to, and of course kind of makes sense, especially since those are what he's giving out on his talons there. So yeah, once again, looking at his flip side, it looks like it's the same to me. If I'm missing anything, please do let me know down below. But I believe he is just the same. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the final thing here, which is the New Mutants Leadership Tactics card. So this is New Mutants. It is for the New Mutants affiliation. It says after all characters have been deployed, an allied Ilyana Rasputin may play this card. So that is, of course, Magik. Magik is the only character who can be the leader for this affiliation, but also the fact that they used the character's alias name and not Magik tells me we might be seeing another Magik in the future, which would be really, really exciting. Magik gains the leadership ability shown above. It is your active leadership, and that leadership is Cry for Help. It is for the New Mutants affiliation, surprise, surprise, and it says if an allied character is targeted by an enemy attack, after the attack is resolved, another allied character within range 3 of it may spend 1 power to use this leadership ability. Place the character that spent power within range 1 of the targeted character. I love this leadership. For any of you guys who've been watching for a while, you guys know I love my kind of bodyguard style models, my crackback models and things like that, and this leadership speaks to me so hard. I think this is going to be really, really solid. If you want to keep it thematic, do something like Colossus, teleport him in after they punch one of your guys and then taunt the second attack sort of thing. Personally, I'm thinking models like Gwenom or Luke Cage are going to have a lot of fun with this. Luke Cage for the same reason as Colossus. Gwenom because you teleport her in and she gets to do a crackback attack because you hit one of her allies. And then because she's already moved or been placed this turn, she gets to do a long move back to safety. Really, really fun combo. I'm definitely really, really liking some of the things you can potentially do with this leadership. Seems like a lot of fun. In terms of the characters they've already revealed, I don't think it's anything crazy for Warlock. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't think it's giving him any huge benefits. I mean, it's bringing him close to be able to do his talons and stuff like that, so that's always nice. But I really, really like it with Sunspot. They talked about this during the stream, that they kind of designed Sunspot to work really well with the affiliation. And yeah, because that teleport to your ally is a movement. So he's going to gain flare tokens off of those teleports, which is going to be really, really big for him. Great way to both get him up the board, get him into position, and also, gain some flare tokens and have him really do big things on his turn. So absolutely love to see it. I think he's going to be really, really strong there. It'll be interesting to see how that plays with Magik herself. Personally, I don't know if Magik appreciates the mobility for getting up the board, but Magik doesn't necessarily want to be the one that's getting attacked all that often. So it'll be interesting to see what we're going to see for characters for the New Mutants affiliations that can actually be those frontliners that want to take those initial hits to allow you to teleport the other ones up the board. Because right now, looking at the affiliation, they're kind of limited in how many characters can actually fill that kind of role. So it'll be really, really interesting to see how they handle that. But yeah, that is going to do it for this panel to play. Lots of really cool stuff revealed here. Some of it, obviously, we already knew. So I'm really glad they decided to throw in those tactics cards here because, yeah, it's fantastic to see what this leadership's going to be. We've been wanting to see that for a while, and of course our other New Mutants card there is really nice. So we now actually seen 3 of the New Mutants cards if we're including the leadership, because we also saw one revealed at Mini Stravaganza. I believe it's just the 3. The one at Mini Stravaganza was like a crackback with a push if you hit an ally within 2 or something like that. It was a little bit ago that I saw it. I'm assuming it'll get revealed again at some point soon, in another panel to play or something like that. Maybe not. They did already reveal it there, but yeah, I'm really liking what New Mutants seems to be kind of going for here. Really excited to see what kind of models are actually going to be included in the affiliation and stuff like that as we get closer to their release. But I'm definitely excited about this. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are you guys happy with the leadership and the models? Do you think they should be better, should be worse? Maybe they're too strong, maybe they're not quite good enough. Let me know what you guys think. Very curious to hear. I'm personally really excited. I think these guys are speaking to my playstyle in a big way, so I'm going to be trying them out for sure. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. So let me know what you guys think. But that is going to do it for me for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do drop a like down below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We cover news like this for Marvel Crisis Protocol all the time, but we also do battle reports and things like that. So if you're a fan of any of that sort of thing, feel free to jump on in. That's going to be it for this one, though. So until next time, have a great day, everybody. Peace.